Hi, Mosaic Church. Thank you for joining me from your homes, your car, wherever you're listening from. I am so excited to come to you with special guests today, talking a little bit about what God has done in 2025 at Mosaic Church Global. It's incredible to see that last year at this time, we were 2 campuses. This year, we are 4. Who knows what God can do when you put your faith in His hands? So I'm excited to share with you not only some statistics, not only some wins, but also the heartbeat of who we are as a church. We are called to be a global church, people who are fueling the world for Christ. We are always going to be sharing good news because it should be shared. My first guest is going to be Pastor Tim. I am so excited to welcome him, his perspective, and the things he's seen in 2025. So will you listen in with me? Get a cup of coffee, get a cup of tea, maybe just keep driving if that's you, and settle in as you hear a little bit about all of the things God's done in 2025. Were you born into pastor-son mode? Like, was your mom and dad, were they vicars upon your arrival?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you attended church also 9 months in advance in a shared womb with your twin brother.
100% all the way.
And did you feel like from the beginning that pastoral nature, heritage, life path was your direction?
No, I felt the opposite. I think.
Did you think, I don't want anything to do with this?
I was a prodigal son.
Well, were you?
I wanted out of it. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, so the only reason I got involved in serving, well, in my dad's church at that time was because I got paid to be in the choir. So I needed kind of financial motivation to turn up.
So I bet they had a pretty good sized choir.
It was good.
If you're going to pay people to be
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it did really well at the time.
Yeah. Did you have to wear like a robe and things?
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, there's some great photos that Pastor Charity uses to embarrass me in front of the youth because it's like bright purple robes and I have long hair because I thought that was great. I thought that was a great idea.
Jesus style.
Yeah, 100%. Longer than Jesus, longer than Mary.
Longer than Jesus. Oh, no, yeah. So even you could wipe up the tears. Oh, that was me. Sorry, I dropped my glasses. Yeah. It's hard for me anymore to see anything without them, to be fair. So I am going to have to pick them up eventually. But for now, Pastor Tim, a.k.a. youth pastor, a.k.a. music director, and also co-lead. You got some high profile doings in our congregations.
Somehow, yeah.
Yeah. How's that working out for you? I mean, how do you really love your pastor? I mean, isn't it amazing working for her?
Do you know what? It's been a learning curve and a rewarding learning curve. And so when I look back on 2025, I think about how I've changed massively, and how differently I feel about the start of the year being a pastor. And I feel myself personally, and I think Pastor Charity would agree, we feel way more settled in leading our youth. We feel like we know our young people, and that increasingly my kind of work with Pastor Scott and yourself and our team has gotten better and better as time's gone on. And so for me, it's been a personally really rewarding year. And I'm loving it. It's been good.
So really part of our strategy in 2025 for our young people was to just build some depth and to really get a hold of their life and help them to become formed disciples, at least on that journey. Yeah. And we've really tackled that this year. Yeah. Probably with pain and great growth as well. Yes?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that was really important to us at the start of the year was thinking about activation. We wanted them to know that they had a place and a role within our church, that it wasn't just about becoming a great attendee or just about showing up, but there was a joy for them to contribute and to play a bigger part than just being someone's son or daughter, but they can be on the journey with us. And that's been incredibly rewarding.
It's been cool to watch
because
been great. Yeah. Like so many of them have become involved in various aspects of what it means to really be a minister, right?
Yeah.
Like to be a formed disciple,
Yeah.
either through evangelistic outreaches that they're a part of, or through ministry and skill set development and worship bands and in the arts. And then also you've had some of them even speaking. Am
Yeah.
I right? I mean,
Yeah.
a few of our guys have
It's been
like
amazing.
brought the word.
When a young person comes up to you and says, I feel that God has spoken to me and I have something to share for the rest of the people my age. I mean, you know, what a blessing. Like, my job's done for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, to me, as a senior leader, that is part of our mandate, is to be intergenerational and to always be thinking like a decade away from us, which I think makes sense for our kids grabbing a hold of their ministry, their giftings earlier on. I mean, how old were you really when you became aware of the giftings on your life?
Oh, 17.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
really
So
later
later on in life. Yeah. What would Charity say? Like, when would she have probably thought
She
that?
was a bit earlier. She would have probably been early teens.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much older than I.
Definitely true for me. I mean, I
Yeah.
was definitely early on, but I totally attribute that to a culture in the church I grew up in that my father happened to lead, that made room for intergenerational transfer, for making mistakes, for being a novice, for trying it, for getting it wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember praying for people when I was 8 and 9 years old for healing. I mean, I'm not really sure if I knew anything about anointing oil at that time in my life, but I definitely used it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, yeah,
It's the
the
magic
anointing.
stuff. Yeah, it makes it happen.
It's anointed.
Yeah.
And so I think it's been really powerful to watch our youth this year, but also our young adults, because I know you're involved in them too, and also alongside of Naomi with our children. Tell me, like, when you think about a world that's changing so rapidly, 2025, brilliant, right? We had some incredible wins. We activated more people this year in our youth ministry than ever.
100%.
We've discipled more youth than we ever have as a congregation. I think they're really, like, there's this amazing group of kids that are just ready to tackle the world for Jesus.
They're incredible. Yeah.
So when you think about like a world that's shifting and changing, and I just read a statistic today actually that said by the time that a person, not a young person, just a person comes to church on Sunday morning, they have been discipled by 49 hours of social content or online content before they got to your 40 minutes. So now that's for me on a Sunday, but for you on a Friday. So in a world that is shifting so rapidly, and now so much is available in online platforms, AI, relationships online, all that stuff, what do you see as a trend of something we need to be sort of getting a hold of for our young people as a full congregation? Like, what would you say?
Across... For our young people, and I think especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and I think I see this kind of more broadly in other places and other spheres, but there's a desire for authenticity.
Agreed.
And a desire for people to be really present, and there's a general sense of kind of fatigue, especially kind of young adults and people kind of around my age. And I think young people have now been irreversibly conditioned by technology and by their upbringing. And so actually it's now really clear to see for me about what the antidote to that is. And that is recognizing where God has planted you, within a group of people, that you have a place, that you have a role in that. I think it's restoring the idea of family.
Agreed.
To people.
Yeah, it's the first word that comes to mind as soon as you said planted. It's just like getting yourself in a place of family.
Yeah, and for me, I think it's about learning dependency on each other.
Yeah.
And learning to be dependable. And that
Interesting.
the body of people that you're a part of, you will be held by and you hold too. And
yeah, I love, Wes Longden, who's also on our team, he says something that I think is really powerful, and it's so true, that church, when it's done correctly, and it's done biblically, it is both the death and resurrection of your life.
Yeah.
It both kills you because you're in relationships that don't always measure up. You deal with real pain.
Yeah.
Life is what it is. Humans are humans, but it also is the resurrection of what it can be when we submit all of our wills, all of our wants, all of our desires to this great big thing called the mission of Christ. And I see our young people doing this. I mean, something that I observe about our young people that I just adore is how cross-pollinating they are and how they want to be with one another, even cross campuses. So like this year, we took double the number to our youth camps, right?
Yep.
Because we took 2 of our campus out of our 4 campuses this year, than just 2 of them. And then I just received word from Coles Hill, which is our newest campus opened. And they were saying they're in desperate need of youth coming now, like somebody coming for youth, because they now have 8 or 9 youth coming along. So there is this cry for that family unit, that place that could be depended upon. But like you said, then building into the algorithm of their life, that also means you're responsible.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. So Tim, we launched our youth and our children's worship bands.
Man, it's wild. It's
crazy zone.
It's been, I mean, it is crazy. I mean,
it's crazy.
We have it on a Monday night, on the last week of the month, and it is insane. I mean, it is chaos, but it's kind of the great chaos.
It is great chaos.
And you know, like Pastor Scott and myself and Pastor Naomi, we get in there and we run around and kind of run ourselves ragged, just trying to fix things and make it work. And then we hear the feedback of it's the highlight of their week. You know, that these young people, they come and they love it and they're engaging with it and they're learning it. And I mean, all credit to Pastor Scott and Naomi for over the summer they got to go to Big Church Festival and got to showcase what.
That is amazing.
And they are being used as an example.
Because didn't we do that? Like we went to Big Church Festival and hosted some of the worship times at Big Church Festival as a church. So if you did not know that, the largest event that I know of in England for worship event, we helped to facilitate the worship tent for the children as our youth and children's band. And that's only going to grow.
100%.
It's our mission to be intergenerational in skill and in ministry. So it's only going to grow. So this year, as we unpack Vision Sunday, you're going to want to stay tuned because talented Pastor Tim, along with so many others who I am desperate to get him to play like some cool stuff on his electric guitar this year. I'm like super desperate for it. I'm like trying to create environments in which this solo can come forth, because if you've ever seen Tim on his electric guitar, it's like he gets into a mode of operation and he cannot be denied. And so I can't wait for that expression. So just hold tight, congregations. It is coming. But when it does, I think this is really good for us to kind of just wrap up our time together, that we're pushing for really just the blossoming of all the seeds we've put in the ground this year. Yeah,
100%.
So when you're thinking about 2026, what would you say is the number one thing you're going, yeah, okay, this is what I'm contending for. This is how other people can get in agreement with me?
Well, that's a good question.
I try to do that.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good question. So alongside a greater sense of dependency, and I feel like my buzzword of 2025 was being able to hold things in tension, and being able to hold in tension this dependency on each other, the responsibility that we have for the body that we're a part of, but then rooted in that, we just get such an amazing and deeper expression of who we are. I love the freedom that we've had in 2025 for our young people, our worship teams, the idea of being undignified and throwing off restraints.
Keep going, brother. And preach the gospel.
I believe there's more of that for us.
Amen.
I believe there's more of that in kind of every expression, and not just what has been typical for the church in the UK, for the church around the world. I think we are reclaiming the arts. We are reclaiming expressions that would probably be unorthodox, but I think that's important for us, that we take pride in not just having the arts be something functional to make a service work, but to just be the expression of who we see God to be in our nation and for ourselves, that it tells the story of who we are. I believe that for this year, that we just grow.
I don't want to make it seem as if that I've got some DNA in there, but let's listen to Pastor Tim on this one. I couldn't agree with you more, actually. I mean, obviously, we're leaning into Vision's coming and Vision Sunday, and I feel that so strongly that there's just more.
Yeah.
And there is just this, like you said, casting off of restraint, just absolute risk taking, putting it on the line, going all in. And there's something so special about a people who decide to do that together.
Yeah.
And I see it in our young people. I see it in our young adults. I see it in our adult population. I see it even in our retired population. Like God is on the move and we get to be part of that cool journey with him. All right, Tim, it's been good talking with you.
It's been great.
Thanks for your time, energy, talents.
Always.
We love you.
We love you.
Keep going. See you soon.
See you later.
Oh, I'm so excited that Pastor Mark is joining me. What a guy of structure who has helped us carry the ball forward, particularly in 2025. He's got a lot of cool things to share with you. Can't wait to have a conversation. Listen in. We are recording.
Hey,
Hi, Mark.
how you doing?
It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, happy days. Are you
Yeah.
having a good day?
Happy days indeed. Yeah, I'm having a great day. Actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's good. Have you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been a great week. Every week's a great week.
Yeah. So how do you determine if it's a great week every week? Like, what is the way then you calculate the end of your week?
You know, I look at every single day and every single week, and I think, do you know what? I feel like I've achieved a lot, and then I look back and I'm not quite sure what I've achieved. But, but
But I guarantee you it's a lot.
yeah, I can guarantee you it definitely is a lot. I always feel like I've achieved loads, but no, lots of I take wins out of every little thing. So every conversation I
Yeah.
have with every single person,
I do that.
I just love engaging with people. And the more people I've spoken to, the more accomplished I feel.
Do you know what? I really love that as well because I am a small win kind of girl because I like big wins. I love big wins,
Yeah.
but my nature is to celebrate small wins too. And I think sometimes you can have such days that it's really important to kind of have that mindset
Yeah.
that there's a small win today. For example, for me today, right? Today, I got up and I was able to finish my complete chapter of a book before my devotional time ran out and I had to go get ready to leave. Now, that feels as if, why wouldn't you do that every day? Just get up earlier. But when you're like me, I enjoy reading for contemplation as well. Are you like that? Do you like to read for that? So sometimes you stop and you're thinking about something. Do you do that in the mornings or do you just kind of power through?
I'm a pretty slow thinker, so that will take all day. I'm a slow reader and a slow thinker.
Okay,
No, so
all
I
right.
do like to do and contemplate, but what I will
Yeah,
do is I'll
I'm a
read something
contemplator.
and then take that through my day.
Yeah, okay. So I get that. Well, I have been speaking with Pastor Tim. Yeah?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Tim is amazing. Mate, can you just do that? Because it does look like it's poking me in the eye. Can you do something?
It's you're poking.
That's better.
I do feel like that's better, yeah.
like that.
But you're a tall guy, so things have to be adjusted for you. You know.
Is that okay? Well, I know. Well, he's a
Yeah,
tall
that's
guy.
interesting.
He's a
How
tall
is that?
guy.
Is he taller than you or is he about the same height?
I don't want to admit that he's taller than me. So
Right. No, nobody would want
No.
that. Yeah, because you would have been a famous long jumper had your
would've
coach not got in the way.
had my school sorted me out, I
Yeah.
could have been a long jumper or a high jumper without a doubt.
So I've been speaking to Pastor Tim. Yeah, and that's been super cool just to hear about how things have been going
Yeah.
and our youth and some of our young adults and some of our worship ministry this year. Tell the people, because some people don't know, some of the areas that you help cover in our congregation, some of the behind the scenes mark jobs.
Mark jobs. Yeah. Well, I have to have a bit of a sight on everything. really.
Okay,
To
all
see,
right.
just I like to see everything that goes on, because everything really needs to be supported. My job really is about undergirding what's going on in the ministries, and so when it comes to things like buildings,
Yeah.
working with Neil and a great team of people who keep those buildings going.
Yeah.
But it's about making sure that we've got all of the things that are needed to make sure that we can turn the lights on, and so that the buildings are kept warm.
Right.
An important one.
Yeah. I would say that's a highlight of
Yeah.
all winter.
Every single winter. So buildings is a key one, isn't it? And working with James Rose on looking at all the finances,
Yeah.
making sure that all the counting's done properly, all the corporate things that we need to do
All of
for
our
the
budgets
for the
are
charities
in line.
and all the budgets and budgets are in line for all the departments. So there's a lot of things that are needed to go on in the background administratively to ensure that we can function in a legitimate way, governmentally.
I mean, you really are sort of a skeleton kind of guy when it comes to, the human body.
Right.
The skeleton kind of makes sure there's
Yeah.
some proper shape
some shape
and some structure to
Yeah.
what we're doing. I
Yeah.
so appreciate that about you. I mean, I have to be honest, Pastor Mark's taken it on the chin a few times from a few things that don't go as well as we would like. But okay, so this year we had some big wins. One of them we are sitting in the middle of right now, which is this incredible building in Leamington Spa
Yeah.
that God has given us. Tell me, Mark, take me back to when I said, I believe God is going to give us this warehouse.
Yeah.
Tell me about that moment in your head.
When Pastor Amanda comes and says, "Oh, by the way, I've got a warehouse. We're going to put a church in it." It really. I never really get surprised by these things. I just have to giggle, and because I just think, okay, that's fine. And then I've got to think through all of the things that I've got to do in order to make sure that we can get that delivered.
Yeah,
and there's
so
a
true.
heck of a lot of things that go into that. Just thinking that through. But one of the things that I enjoy doing is thinking about where do we want to get to, what is the outcomes, and then working that back to work out, okay, what are the things that we need to put in place to do that, and what kind of teams we need to put together to do that, what kind of finance we need to get together to do that. And something like Leamington Spa, it is the biggest building that we have. And
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is, yeah.
And it's actually twice as big as we thought it was.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So true.
Because you didn't know there was
No,
upstairs.
I had no idea. So when I had been coming here and praying, that is absolutely the truth. When I'd been coming to this building and praying, because there is a car park right across the street. And every time Jason and I would come to this area, I would walk over and I'd lay my hands on this building. And I would not pray for it to be ours. I would pray that it would become a church. I would say, you want to be a church. I know you want to be a church. But of course, secretly in my mind, I kept thinking, you want to be a Mosaic Church.
Yeah.
But the whole time I thought, wouldn't it be powerful if we had a church that also had a play space, right? Because this is something I've been talking about for a couple of years. And I thought, well, how we're going to achieve that all in this one space? And then when I got in this building and Josh, who was showing me around, took me to the upstairs and he's like, there's an upstairs, but it may be too big for us. And I was like, what? This is brilliant. But you know what? To be fair, when I was walking up those stairs, I've shared this with you. When I was walking up those stairs, the first time I walked in this building, because you're right, it's a huge building, and it came with a lot of things to make a church and to make a play space and all the things that have been achieved through our teams. I heard the Holy Spirit say, I will give you double if you'll believe me.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, like, do we want double of everything? Because
Yeah.
double of everything also means double the issues, really. I mean, like, let's be fair, right? Everything comes with both reward and blessing, and also the areas that have to be improved, the gaps that are seen. But this year, like, we achieved something amazing in this space.
We turned a space that was a former Argos store.
Yeah.
The upstairs of this space was just storage. It's designed for storage, and it was dirty and filthy, and the downstairs was very, very dated. Everything in here is dated, and it really was just a shell of a building.
Absolutely.
And it looks like an old Argos. And and what we had to do was transform it so that actually it was a welcoming space. It was a warm space. We didn't have toilets when we moved in here.
No, that's right.
We had no running water downstairs, no electricity to the front of the building. So actually, this was, it was a simple box, and we had to come in and transform it, and not only in the function of a building, but also in terms of its decor, it becoming a place where we could do worship, bring staging and seating and lighting in here, and we've created offices in here so that we can, take meetings can take place, people can work here, we can do music and arts here.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing transformation of space.
I mean,
really.
I give such a shout out to our teams, our ministries, all of the department heads that have stewarded this transformation, because it took a load of people. Many, many volunteers from our congregations came. But when I was thinking about it, you always reflect at the end of the year all of the things that you've done. And this year we did a lot. I mean, in the middle of receiving this building, we also had a word from God that God was sending us to Coles Hill, and that we were going to be really bringing in a congregation from there as well. So all of a sudden, what was like one baby became twins, and life got impactful very quick, didn't it?
Well, when you asked me the question, Mark, what did you think? When you said, can we turn an Argos into a church? It was surpassed quite quickly by, Mark, can you turn this sheep shed into a church? Yeah.
Good news, we did it both.
And we did both.
We did both.
It was quite funny, particularly when you realise that this building has got holes in it. It's got lots of air coming through, and only 2 weeks before we visited it, they were literally lambing in that same room.
That is right.
Yeah. And Farmer John turned something which was a shed, which was a barn, into a church building, and then, with the teams we put together a church, and we then began to worship there. What a phenomenal transformation that was! I mean,
it's pretty incredible when you think about it, because part of our mission at Mosaic Church, really, which is just God's vision in us. I don't think we're the only church doing cool things with God, but we have to do what God's assigned to us, which was to really begin to believe for 64 locations of congregations that we would steward as a massive collective that would say we're better together than apart. And we thought, okay, Lord, we're getting ready for that. We're unpacking little by little the structure, the skeleton, the parts that you do. And then all of a sudden it was like freight train moment where we went from 2 to 4 in just a very short amount of time. But God has been so faithful to us. I mean, not only were we able to fund the renovations here, which were much more than we were expecting, because this is a massive space and it takes so much to do. We were also able to invest in the next of Coles Hill and what God's doing there. And like you said, begin to see the blossoming of that kind of 64 journey. So when you look in and you think, okay, God, what are you doing? Like, what are you sensing God saying? Like, what do you think God is saying to us as we're moving into 2026? What do you think?
Well, one of the things that I reflected on that I enjoyed the most about doing this building in Leamington that we're sat in right now was that when we started to do things in here and we're working away, is that people in the community here were walking right up to the windows and looking through the glass.
So true.
And the thing that really stuck out to me is that people are inquisitive. They want to know.
They do.
They really do want to know. And one of the things that has been a revelation probably in the last 12 to 18 months for us as Mosaic Church is that people are interested in what we've got to say. They are interested in what we're doing. There's nothing like it that's happening. And people are literally walking through the door here, want to know what's going on. And when we're talking to them about it, they're saying that, wow, this is amazing. And so I think that for 2026, we've just got to be expectant, because people are more inquisitive than we give them credit for. They want to know what we're doing. And when they do find out what we're doing, they want to get involved. And that's a real opportunity.
I think that is such a great point. So they say statistically that 80% of people who are not currently Christ followers or churchgoers of any kind would attend church if they were just simply asked.
Right.
80%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty incredible number.
Yeah.
To think that 4 out of 5 people would come to a church service if they had a friend ask them, which I think what part of our mission, obviously, in being a global church who is planting and continuing to create opportunity for congregations in new areas, is that it's our evangelism tool.
Yeah.
Right? it's our evangelism tool. So what price tag do you put on evangelism? So when we looked at the renovations of this building, some people may look in and go, man, it costs money to renovate that. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you spend money doing something else? Why wouldn't you give money to the poor? Well, actually, we completely prepared and are continuing to prepare for the increase of what evangelism looks like by having a hub, a place that people can answer the question when they're asked, will you join me? Will you go to a play group with me? Will you visit this art space with me? Will you attend this worship night with me? And all of a sudden, 80% more opportunity comes because we're now in Leamington Spa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we now have a building we were willing to invest in. It's same true as in Coles Hill. We are now 80% stronger further because of that. So this year, by God's grace, our church has almost quadrupled in size in all of our campuses collectively. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. That was a pretty substantial number. Even when I saw it, I was like, wow, okay, praise the Lord. That's fantastic. We have more volunteers now, Mark, than we did congregants when I came 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's crazy zone. That's amazing, right?
It really is,
I mean, like, cool.
Yeah. And people are excited to get involved. And people are coming in and say, how can I help?
Yes, exactly. There's more than ever of people wanting to get plugged in. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching and you're like, okay, yeah, that's me. I'm the one that's been sitting in the pew enjoying everybody else's service. This is kind of your moment, right?
Yeah.
Because it takes an army of people to reach a city and to reach a region and to reach a country and to reach an island. Like, it takes all of us being mobilized in God's direction. So we now have over like 200 and plus some number of volunteers, which is just incredible. And our finance went up this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Thank you
great.
for giving. Thank you for believing in the mission, because we have to keep increasing our finance in order to keep facilitating growth. It takes money to grow.
Yeah, it certainly does. These buildings we have, they cost money to keep the lights on and to insure and to pay all the rates and rents that we need to pay. These things do cost money.
Yeah.
But also, the people that give their time, volunteers, are also paid staff that are needed, to do the professional work that's needed in order to do what we do, but do it well.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important that our congregation knows that we are not about eating our seed. No. So what I mean by that is, if you're listening in, is that whatever is coming into the house, we're going to do our best to be stewarding it forward for the kingdom. If we're planting it for Mosaic Church, so be it. But we're also going to be planting in other places, in other mission, and other things God's doing, because we don't want to just eat everything that comes in for us. We don't want to be consumers. We want to be producers. It's part of our mission, right? It's part of our value system. So this year, we were able to give some money away.
Yeah, yeah.
Praise the Lord.
We gave money, in the UK and abroad, across the world.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like Greece received from us, Bulgaria received from us, places in America received from us. South America received. Yeah.
Church planting.
Church plants. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Church planting received from us in other nations, because God's in giving us not only a missional heart for here, God's given us a missional heart globally. Yeah. And we're believing that this year coming is going to just magnify that even more, right? I mean, we've had a commitment now of over 50,000 pounds to come in for global mission and for church planting in 2026. If everyone kind of lives up to their commitment. Wow.
Yeah, that is incredible. And it's not just about money and sending money. It's also about sending people.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. And so obviously over the last few years, we've had the opportunity to go into different nations. Pastor Amanda, you particularly have been able to go into different nations and inspire and teach and participate in some of the partner organizations we work with. And Becky has as well, my wife. But also this year, there's plenty of opportunities that are going to be coming up for the same kind of thing, but for other people to get involved in some of that.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we become people who model both giving of our talent and of our treasure, right? Like that we take our time and we invest it, like you said. I mean, I've always been globally minded. I was raised in a global minded family, thank God. My dad traveled to over 90 nations of the world before he went on to be with Jesus. And by God's grace, that kind of same transfer anointing has ended up with me. But I think it's on our church, and I think it's on our people And when I look in, Mark, all I can just get a sense of is that God is bringing us the nations and he's sending us to them.
Yeah.
I mean, today we have over 40 nations in our congregations.
Wow.
Just on the ground every Sunday. Just 40 nations just there.
Yeah.
And then now God's going, yeah, okay, I'm letting you collect them, but I'm also wanting to send you to them.
Yes.
So we got missions opportunities coming.
Yeah, well, and you know, working with Gwyn, you know,
Yeah,
we've
right.
seen Noah
Yeah.
go out to Africa a couple of
so
times
true.
last year.
I know.
You know, and I know that they're hungry to do more. Gwyn's going out again plenty times this year, isn't he? So there's lots of opportunities going to be coming out of that and other things where people are going to be able to participate.
I mean, when we have Brazilians who have joined our congregation as interns, Americans who have come, Ukrainians who are sitting on our team now. I mean, it's just incredible to see Nigerians who are pastoring some of our campuses. It's just incredible to see God's journey and his willingness to allow us to embrace diversity and yet remain in unity. And that is part of our mission.
Yeah.
Is that we believe we're fueling people to light the world, but we're doing it because we have harmony. We're not exactly alike. If you go to our congregations, you're going to find that there are some things that are unique to those locations, but we're always the same DNA, the same people headed in the same direction. Mark, you have been a brilliant guest. And I want you to know that I am blessed by you.
Very good. Thank you.
But as we move ahead, we are believing that this year things will just grow even further, right? I mean, we grew 2.5% just over in our finance as a whole, but we need to grow 2.5 more because we've got to keep moving forward. We've grown from 160 volunteers to well over 200. We've baptized over 70. We've had over 240 salvations in our congregations, first-time salvations, not rededication.
Phenomenal.
First-time salvations in our congregation, but there's more ahead.
There's so much more ahead, and we're really excited. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to put the brakes on at all. I mean, my foot's hard down the accelerator
Let's
here.
do it.
So yeah, it is like Nike said. Let's just do it. Get on with it.
Let's just do it. Yeah, let's take the Nike approach. Let's just do it. Whoosh and out. Thanks, Mark.
No problem.
Now we get to move on to Larissa. She's going to be incredible. I can't wait for you to hear from this amazing missionary that God has brought to us and all that she's seeing and all the ministries she's a part of in 2025. Hi, Larissa.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
I
How are you?
really appreciate and dig a really good, like, dark-haired woman who is pulling off a very 80s amazing leather jacket.
Appreciate it.
Is
Thank
this
you.
your look prior to when you came here? Like, because in Brazil, would you have gone with this? Is this your look?
No.
No.
So this is the best part to be in like UK and Europe.
Right.
Is-
Because you
yes.
can kind of
Exactly.
explore
Yes.
the dark colors.
I was born, yeah, exactly. I was born in the right country, right? But
Right.
with the wrong, how can I say, weather.
Right.
So because I like those type of outfits.
Oh,
so if I wear
right.
this in Brazil, it's not going to work.
So it wouldn't work because it's quite a colorful nation.
Yes, it is.
And, you know, the weather and stuff lends itself to
Yes.
color.
Exactly.
But I've seen you in this jacket on multiple occasions, so I know that it must be part of your love zone.
Definitely.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah.
Now, please adjust microphones. Do, 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 do,
One,
do,
two.
do, do. Larissa,
Yes.
were you a barista prior to your arrival in the UK?
What do you mean about that?
Like a barista, like did you
Yeah.
make coffee?
I do.
You did.
Right now I do.
Yeah, now you do.
Yeah.
But did you before you came to the UK?
No, never.
No. So you learned to make it here.
I learned how to make it here. In
Yeah,
Mosaic.
because you just made me a coffee and it was very delightful. Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
I do feel like it's come a long way, Larissa. You've just improved better and better as someone who enjoyed your early coffees. And now I'm enjoying your more mature coffees.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it that you could see the.
I can see progress.
difference.
And I want to give you
Appreciate
credit
it.
for that.
Appreciate it.
Mosaic Brew. What a cool vibe Mosaic
It
Brew
is.
brings. Yeah?
It is. I remember when I heard about it in Brazil, Guilherme and Lorena was talking about it with me. It was like, this is so interesting, a church that train baristas. And also you can serve, but also if you you became like, if you're doing good, you can also work out of the church, also in other places doing
Right.
coffee. So it is such an incredible opportunity.
It is. And
Yeah.
as I was just interviewing and spending some time with Pastor Mark, who helped me to get Mosaic Brew off the ground and who
Yeah.
still helps to oversee that with a few people, I just love the concept of third spaces. This is something I'm always leaning into as a church, that we are
Yes.
third space people, which basically means that we go where people are at and what they're already doing,
Yeah.
rather than just trying to get them to engage with us our way. And to me, coffee is such an approachable way to build a conversation.
Yes.
Have you had some good conversations at the coffee cart when you've been there?
For sure. It is an incredible opportunity to preach the gospel.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
quite evangelistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember during the service, someone from India, one of the students in university in town, he come up to us. He got inside of the church. He was like, I smell like coffee, right? And I would like to see how it goes and everything. And he got a coffee, but he was also, okay, it's also happening in service here, what this means. So he never heard the gospel before.
That's
It was
right.
the
And you
first
shared with
time.
him.
Yeah.
That is so
So,
cool. And I
yeah.
appreciate the fact that we're not having like a really terrible coffee. Like our coffee's good, right?
Yes.
It's nothing worse than going to church and
No.
you're stirring in little coffee
Exactly.
things. I don't understand that. When I first started coming to the UK years ago, that was such a bad vibe. I did not
yes.
like that. So I'm so thankful for the transition, right? Aren't you? As a
Yes.
Brazilian, you have to be.
Definitely.
But what a great opportunity for us. So we also have a run club through our Mosaic Brew, which is also a third space idea. Do you
Yes.
do that? Because you run a lot, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, I don't run
Yes.
unless somebody's chasing me. But tell me a little bit about the run club.
It is interesting because, again, one more opportunity to even like exercise, but also talk with different people and put all of this together. One of the things that God always talked with me about, this thing of being excellent. So I bring those two things together, remind the importance
Amazing.
of the temple of the Holy Spirit, that is our body, but also bringing the coffee, that it is a perfect way to have this quality time together.
Because we have tons of people
Yeah.
who come to Run Club who have never also heard the gospel until
Exactly.
they come. They don't even know we're a church. But then when they show up at Mosaic Brew, they
Yeah.
figure out that we are a church kind of on the move, and
Yeah.
they've got these running evangelists. Yeah? Would that be
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Who are just sharing the good news of the gospel.
Exactly.
So I love that because I want those spaces to grow. I believe in 2026, they're only going to get more profound. They're going to grow more. And we've even started kickboxing and defense. And that is such a cool concept for me,
Yeah.
that we are engaging in these
Yeah.
third spaces, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how you go about, because we're an evangelistic church. We don't want to be people who have just evangelism. We want to be evangelistic.
Yes.
Right?
It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a lifestyle. So tell me about how you have come and you just go, okay, yeah, I'm just going to share the gospel. Like, how did you get there? Did you grow up knowing that you wanted to do that?
I'm an extrovert person.
Right.
So I grew up in a household that everybody loved to talk.
Okay.
And a lot. So I grew up in this environment, but being honest, I never imagined to be this person for the gospel.
Right.
Because before I was always separating things. So we have this part that it is a spiritual thing, and this part that it is
Yeah, right.
a word thing. But as I start going deep with the Lord, I start seeing that can become your lifestyle. So it is who you're gonna be in your work, in the sphere of the society. It's who you're gonna be in the university. It's who you're gonna be with your family, friends around you. So it's so amazing because God created us like that. I think every single one of us, we are creating a way that we can use for the gospel.
Yeah, I mean, our
So,
life
yeah.
is the living testimony of
Yeah.
the Word of God. And if we're bold enough to realize that our message matters,
Yes.
and our interactions matter, and the conversations we have matter, then I think that changes your perspective, right? You don't go about your day the same way.
Yes.
You're a missionary, right?
I am.
Here in our great land, as I guess you could consider me in some way, that I would also be in this category. So as people who have come into a land that God's called us to, but particularly from your perspective, what brought you to Mosaic Church?
I think the vision, I I'm so grateful that we have different churches all over, like in different places, different countries. And I felt really close to the vision and the direction that our church are going. So I'm this person that I like to wear the t-shirt for the can I
Yeah,
say that?
totally you can.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the vision. So
Clearly, we need to make more
Yeah.
T-shirts so you got more options.
please, it would be nice. But also this thing of raising leaders,
Yeah.
not being a consumer. And I seen so many people, I have been seeing so many people in your generation, in my generation, that they are just okay with being just good Christians. And I believe that this comes from a wrong perspective of, I just wanted to receive from God and I don't want to partnership with
Yeah,
him.
right.
So I love this vision that you have in your church, that we are working together as a
Yeah.
community. Every single one of us, we are an important part of the body, and we are going to a direction to raise leaders and invest in the kingdom out of the church as well. So
I love that
Yeah.
too. That's what makes us intergenerational, right? We believe we're a global church. So we have to constantly be expanding and advancing in order to meet that criteria.
Yes.
And leadership development is an automatic in that, because you can't go anywhere you don't have leaders to send or to commission or to get behind. And so this year, we've done some even cool things where we have now commissioned a few, including you, as leaders in our young adult ministry, right?
Yes.
So that's been cool. We've had some cool worship nights that have been amazing. And part of our desire is to see those worship nights facilitated even more, right? Prayer, intercession, times of worship. Yeah. How have you felt about them so far? Like, what have been your feeling? Because I've loved them. I've attended, but I'm not in the age group, but
It's
I'm
been-
certainly the pastor.
has been amazing, even having you there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's really nice. And it's so incredible to see how hungry they are for more of God.
Yeah.
And like seeing them pursuing this place, not being consumers. Like,
Yeah.
so every single worship night since we restarted, I'm just so grateful because God has been really faithful with our community, with our church, and they are learning how to pursue more of God. And so I felt that the worship is not just a place that we are just singing together and we are there because we don't have anything to do. They're deciding to be there. They are pursuing
I agree.
more of the presence.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think there's a real hunger for that kind of space, right? For like authenticity, like Tim talked about in the first segment, where people's lives are just getting real before the Lord. I have come to realize that this generation needs experience and expression. Like we need that in this generation. We need people who are experiencing the presence of God and they have a place to express it in. Because I think church for a long time has been so regulated and so motivated by the schedules and by this and by that we haven't really made enough room. So I love what God's doing in that environment and the development of leaders that are coming from that, because you also help to lead one of our fuel cells, which is an
Yes.
ongoing part of our church, where young people and adults get involved in smaller groups and smaller settings to encounter God, to grow together, to learn together, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a cool part of what you do.
It is.
I mean, you kind of meet in quite a small space sometimes, don't you?
It is. Sometimes
I've
we don't
seen
really
your
have a
pictures.
space.
I've seen your pictures.
It's so small.
I'm like, wow, you guys are definitely worshiping hand in hand.
Exactly, literally.
But I find small spaces powerful. And most of the time, it's the place you're really known, right? In a small space, like with a group of people, you're best known in that. And you can explore your giftings and what you're thinking in spaces like that. Are you finding that to be true as well? Do you like that as well?
For sure, yeah, and we can have accountability with each other, isn't it? Sometimes to grow with the Lord, and it can be challenge. And if you have each other, not only about the space to be close, but also walking together.
Yeah.
And this place of accountability to help each other.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that we've grown kind of past just even one campus stewarding this, right? Multiple campuses now are stewarding this expression. And even in our Hillfield campus and in our Leamington campus and probably soon in our Coles Hill campus, we are inviting young people into a journey, into a smaller group setting. I know at Hillfield, we've been doing that this year in a specific way on Fridays where they're coming along to learn and to grow. And then also in Leamington, we've been bringing over some of our Warwick Row leaders and just getting beside the people here and seeing that grow. So there is this hunger and this sort of enveloping, like this developing place, isn't there, of just young adults coming to the horizon.
Yes.
This is what I kind of see.
Yes.
I feel like it is the season for that.
It is.
Leadership development. Let's go for it, right?
Yeah. And it has been a pleasure to see so many leaders being raised. Like this year, we already have so many plans, right? These small groups.
So true.
Yeah.
Our small groups have all grown. Many of our young adult population has grown in the Lord this year, become activated in giftings and call. I mean, it's super cool for a pastor. We have a significant young adult population as congregations in comparison to some churches. And I love that because it just takes the limits off of possibility. The people that are younger come with energy and vision, and they come just needing direction. They're like a force to be reckoned with already. All they need is just like, you gotta kind of like do like this, keep them in the stream, give them some boundaries, which I totally believe I could do fairly well. But I love that. And one of the key ways we develop leaders outside of just those conversational, relational structures is through CAIO, right?
Yes.
CAIO doubled in 2025.
Yes.
That's crazy, right? CAIO Academy, our first, second, and third year development program.
Yes.
You're part of that.
I am. I'm leading the first year.
Yes. Yeah. How is that rolling? I mean, are you loving it?
It has been amazing. The first year I'm leading with Pastor Becky and Janie as well. And we are leading those Christians who are in the beginning of their journey. So we're talking about identity. We're talking about so many details and points that help them to keep moving. Also, the second year, you're going to learn the whole Bible.
Yeah.
It is so exciting. Like in order chronological, you're going to read the whole Bible together and study it. And the third year, we're talking about leadership. It's the moment that, again, we're not consumers. We're getting ready to raise other leaders as well. So we're going to pour it out. We're going to share. So has been such an incredible
I hear testimonies
thing.
all the time from CAIO.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like people love the environment. They love what they're getting. First year is really all about getting settled in the Word of God, right? So it's quite conversational. It's a lot of just detox and then also then just kind of reinforcement of what we believe. But I love that because people are coming hungry. I mean, Pastor Becky told me that it's just brilliant, that people love it and that you guys have so much fun in that environment. And so,
they
so
have
cool.
encounter with God in the middle of the class. This is powerful. We were talking
That's
about
amazing.
identity in this moment of Mary being called by name by Jesus. And one of the girls, the lady, she would start crying because she was like, I can feel the presence of Jesus here in the room, and I think I'm finally knowing my identity on Him. So it's not by our strength, it's not because of us, but we're just in the gap.
Yeah, facilitating it.
Facilitating, and it's amazing.
I love that because I came from a meeting earlier today and I was speaking with our Coles Hill pastor, Kevin, and he shared with me on opening Sunday at Coles Hill that the gentleman, we were already scheduled to do a baptism, which is a funny time to do it, but we opened on a Sunday and then did a baptism, which praise the Lord. But his whole family that day, that opening Sunday, gave their life to Jesus.
Whoa.
Right then.
Whoa.
Totally. And I went back 2 Sundays ago and they're all in church. And he said to me today, he said their entire family unit has been completely transformed.
Crazy.
From that one Sunday. So it's like what you just said, whether it's through CAIO, whether it's through fuel cells, whether it's through our worship nights, facilitating opportunities for people to encounter God and to get their life in the place that God can do incredible things. It's just amazing. I mean, we are not in charge of the 5-star meal. God is, right? He does the cool stuff. But we do facilitate the restaurant and the setup and the dishes and the seating arrangements, and here's how things are going to go. And so when he told me that this today in our meeting, I was so blessed. And then to think like our Hillfield campus this year, they began Table Sunday, which also has facilitated incredible conversations, and people have just walked in on that Sunday and God's radically changed their life and they've said yes to Jesus. So it's what you said. It's that lifestyle discipleship. It's that evangelism on purpose. It's that facilitating of the vision of God. Last year we had 20 people in Cayo. This year, what do we have? Like 40?
So yeah.
Yeah, like
Around
40,
that.
45, something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have people joining us online who are not even in our nation.
And so
I didn't even know that, by the way. Like I just found that out as the senior pastor of this church.
We have students that they are joining us by online.
Because they live in other places,
exactly.
which means now we can facilitate people online to be part of this community. So just look out, right? Like look out for 2026.
People are, they want to get baptized as well.
Yes.
They're joining us and they're like,
So
okay, I'm
true.
learning so much, but I also want to get baptized. So
See,
this
I
year
love
will be
this.
so excited.
This is going to be a great year. I mean, we baptized over 70 last year, but I have to tell you, like baptism here in the UK, it's different than baptism in America. So baptism in America, sometimes people, they don't understand that this is a facilitated commitment. Like once you go from death to life, this is God's moment. This is my agreement with heaven that I am a new creation. When I was in America, sometimes this got a little shady in emotionalism, where people would be baptized 2 and 3 and 4 times in their lifetime. But here, I think we've taken some real serious steps to say, no, this is the step of salvation. But when you go from death to life, you've gone from death to life. And unless there's been a massive change that needs to be reassured, God has solidified your new nature. So to think that this year, 240 plus people said yes to Jesus for the first time, and then 70 of them plus said, I'm taking a new nature. And many of them now are on the journey, like you're speaking of, coming through Cayo or Fuel Cells or tables at Hillfield or Coles Hill Expressions, where their life is now going, no, I want to take that next step from death to life. How cool. That's why we do it, right? It's on the back, fueling people to light the world.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny what happens when you just get out of God's way.
Yeah. And like,
It's just amazing.
It's so interesting that you're saying that here there is a real decision and like a real conviction inside of them. And it reminds me about John Wesley. We are in a land that John Wesley came from, isn't it? So this revival thing and everything. I don't think the problem for my generation right now you'll be like, if the revival is going to happen or if you're going to see the revival, I think it's already happening.
Totally.
And I think I'm more worried about like how we are preparing those people than with the revival itself.
Yeah, agreed with that.
You know?
I agree with you. I think the fact that Bible sales are up 41% in the last 2 years compared to what it was is a great indication for us that God is getting a hold of people's lives. But you're right. It's the discipleship journey now, right? It's the preparation of making room, not just for the harvest, but for the development of bread.
Exactly.
How do we make it useful to the aroma of other people being able to eat from our lives in that really prophetic way, right? So I see 2026 just accelerating us in this. I think more leaders are coming. I think more people like you who are finding a space at Mosaic, who are coming from other cultures, are coming because you bring something so brilliant. I love the fact that I have Brazilians in my church because they help us, they grow us, you are just so passionate that you bring something so special. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
For being special. And I want to see what God does next. It's going to be fun, right?
Yes, I'm really excited.
Like we're
This
going to
year
get
is
out
gonna
there
be
and
incredible.
just take it by the horns and just do life.
Let's go.
Let's go. Mosaic Church, I hope that you have felt this has been meaningful for you. It's been an opportunity for you to hear from some people on the ground who are doing the work of the Lord. I want you to know there are many, many more leaders and pastors, people who are giving their life away to make sure that Mosaic Church moves forward. It's a shout out to every one of our pastors' teams and all of our campus pastors this year who have made this past year not only a time that is worth talking about, but a fruitful time in the kingdom of God. I don't do this alone. I do this with incredible teammates. I also want to encourage you that this coming week is Vision Sunday. So, if this has been meaningful to you and you're a part of Mosaic Church in any of our campuses, you need to make sure you're on the ground listening in so that you can capture what God is saying to us for 2026. I can't wait to share it with you. It's coming. Talk soon.